So the reason why Airbnb sued us is they're trying to block everyone from using BNB. But here's where I think that's just, really messed up. You can't put B ampersand B, so you have to put BNB, just like they did. Like, that's just a limitation of URLs. And yet there's so many like boutique hotels and, bed and breakfast places that like that's the only way they can show up effectively is to use that. But like you're
saying BNB in the domain name.
Yeah, BNB in the domain name.
Got it.
So we filed for a trademark. They blocked that and sued us.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of The Report. Today, I got a couple special guests doing big things in the unique stays, experiential experiences, Treehouse game. They are the founders of Bolt Farm Treehouse, all the way out from Tennessee. I got Seth and Tori Bolt. Seth and Tori, welcome to the show, guys.
Dude, it's so good to be here. Excited for this conversation.
I appreciate you guys coming out. We got connected by Dan Martell, mutual friend. Dan was just out here about a month ago in the studio, maybe 3 weeks ago. But appreciate you guys coming out. I'm like shocked. We've been chatting for like an hour before hitting play right now, and we have so many synergies. I'm shocked that we have not met before.
I know, yeah, but we have now, so that's good.
Yes, now we're in the game.
We're in the
game. So, oh my gosh, so much to cover here. We're gonna drop so much game for the listeners. But just real quick, like you guys met. This is a unique story that I want to share. Tori, you are a news reporter, and Seth, you were in a band.
That's right. Yeah. So
how did that even happen?
I was in the band Need to Breathe for 23 years, just retired, and Tori was like working in Houston at like a top 10 news station and interviewed the band. And so like our first meeting was on camera.
But Rich, I didn't tell you this earlier. So the reason that I interviewed the band was because my boyfriend at the time was a huge fan.
Oh,
and I let him come with
gosh.
me to the interview pretending to be like my assistant. The whole point was so that he could meet his favorite band. He is no longer a fan, but Seth got a wife, so it worked out.
It was a great interview. It was one of my best.
That is crazy.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
I know.
Wow. So men out there, listen to this. If you guys got a spouse, you guys got a girlfriend, don't go fanboy some other dude and bring a lady.
That's right.
It could end poorly.
That's crazy. And so then how did you guys go from what you were doing to like, hey, like we're gonna like just cut everything we're doing. We're going to go build this like Treehouse experiential stays property. Like, how does that even come to fruition?
Yeah. It all started with our honeymoon. So Seth and his dad built the very first treehouse on his parents' farm by hand. We met in the process because a treehouse could be anything from like a fort in your backyard to what we build, which is very romantic, luxurious, like heated marble floors, romantic. And so he, inspired by love, decided to elevate it to make it a treehouse worthy of our wedding day. So we had our honeymoon there and it was absolutely magical. And like, once we experienced the power of an intentional environment, we realized that other people need this, and we committed our lives to making it available to others.
Wow, that's so cool. And obviously getting the real estate game, like, I was in the same boat not too long ago. I knew nothing about business, nothing about real estate. And I went through like a 9-month period to where I was like literally like hustling books and podcasts and like going to networking events. And there was a lot of education before I actually really got rolling. Did you guys do a lot of the education, or you guys just started and you said, fuck it, I'll figure out how as we go?
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, I didn't know if it was going to work.
Yeah.
Like, in the beginning. So, like, I was like really early on the Airbnb platform, really early on Instagram.
We're talking 2017, yeah?
We're talking now 2013 was when I was trying to pitch my parents on this. Because, like, my parents have a small farm. Like, we grew our own food. We literally, like, harvested the timber and milled the lumber and built a home together.
That's
and, like,
the definition of living on the land.
So I mean, it's very like humble beginnings. Tori's parents are first generation Brazilian,
really,
like first Americans from
Brazilian.
Brazil. And
what city in Brazil?
A small farmland called Campina Grande, and my grandmother from Natal, the beaches. Yeah.
And my grandparents were like orphans during the Great Depression. So like grew up in this poor part of South Carolina, and it was just learned all these great values about hard work. So like I always wanted a treehouse when I was a kid, but it just wasn't in the cards for my parents. Like they were just putting together a life, and but I had this super rich childhood where I got to learn how to fix things and how to build things and how to basically just bring anything you want to life, and like they didn't give me money, but they gave me mindset, and like mindset is the thing that has taken me so far in life. And now I was just telling Tori, I'm like, we're like, our families are the American dream. Like literally arriving here with nothing, having nothing, and like building it brick by brick. So it's kind of it's not a situation where like we were like, let's get into real estate and let's acquire something. It was just a passion project. And, like we built the first treehouse for $55,000 total. And like my dad and I and mom, like we did the work, and meeting her in the middle of construction inspired me to then like make this honeymoon penthouse suite type experience. Cause I'm like, if I'm going to actually suggest that we go on our honeymoon here, which like it did help save some money, I'll to like get married on the farm and then honeymoon in the treehouse. Like we were trying to, we were balling on a budget.
Yeah.
It meant more, and like I was just inspired to make it that, and now it is that for other people, where it's like this is a romantic escape for people, on top of a mountain.
So give me the breakdown. Give the listeners the breakdown, because I'm learning alongside with the listeners. I don't know anything about the Bolt Farm Treehouse. I want to break it down. What is the Bolt Farm Treehouse?
So now we have a 55-acre mountaintop retreat outside of Chattanooga, Tennessee. We have luxury tree houses, domes, and mirror cabins. We have 24 right now, and we're growing. We're building 11. We have 11 tree houses under construction. But I always tell people, and they kind of look at me funny when I tell them, but we're not in the business of accommodations. That's not it. It's not tree houses or
hospitality.
domes. Nope.
What's your business?
Transformational experiences.
Okay.
It's all about it's all about the feeling and what happens to you in your relationship when you're there. People aren't just coming for a place to stay. They're coming to reconnect with themselves, with nature, with the person that they love, and with their purpose.
That's so cool. So give me an example. So let's say I want to go out there for a weekend with my girlfriend. What's the experience gonna be like?
Oh, magical. And you're going to get all the credit. So
okay. I've only been to Nashville, Tennessee, and that was like for a few times, but staying in the city. But I've never stayed in like the mountains of Tennessee.
So I love this. I mean, we're close with our guests, and we hear their stories all the time. A lot of times they'll set it up like it's a surprise. Like, I'm taking you somewhere I'm not going to tell you. And you're driving up this mountain. You're like, where are we going? And then you get to like basically walk up to and see that like you're on the edge of a cliff on top of a mountain, with a view of 3 states. There's a spa, there's a wellness haven. I mean, these luxury tree houses are just insane, like best of the best. And then also like we've recruited the best talent in hospitality so that the actual experience is unmatched. So like epic location, very inspiring, great way to get away. Cause like, I mean, part of the inspiration for me was like after just being a high output person and playing music in a band and traveling the world and all that, like you got to recharge your batteries. Like a friend of mine who literally like he had a situation where like had all this success and then he just wasn't taking care of himself, and he literally like torched his career. Like it blew up his family, all this stuff. And he told me, he was like, listen, he was like, he put it in like the form of a question. He was like, how often do you change the tires on your truck? And I was like, I don't know, every 2 or 3 years. And he was like, how often do they change the tires on a race car? And I was like, I don't know, a couple times a race. And he was like, your life is like that race car. It's not like the normal vehicle. So like you have to change your tires. You have to refill your cup. You have to invest in yourself, because with all the demands and everything on you, like you can easily self-implode if you're not taking care of yourself along the way.
What would be changing the tires for you be?
I think just
like you're not talking replacing your shoes and your swag. By the way, you guys do have very swaggy swag. For listeners that are not watching on YouTube, Seth and Tori, man, dressed to a T. That's the first thing I said to you guys when you guys walked in. I was like, damn. But it makes sense. I'm like, okay, like you were in a band, and then you were on the news. You were already on camera. So I like the swag.
All right.
Respect for the swag. But anyway, so when you say replace the tires, what does that mean for someone like you? Give us some context.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like it's turning down the noise and taking time, like sacred time, in an inspiring environment to, just enjoy slow meals and like the art of slow living and connection. So like we've got Connect cards. We brought you some for the like conversation starters. So
yeah,
I mean, my
I appreciate
goal is
that, by the way.
Like people can come and visit and like they laugh and they learn something new about their partner. I mean, we've got people who come and stay, like they'll come to us for like their 25th anniversary. And yet, if they leave like having learned something new about the person they've been with after all that time, because I mean, at the end of the day, like we exist so that people can remember why they got together in the first place.
Yeah, I'm looking up your guys' Instagram right now and just kind of going through the content. I suggest all the listeners go check out if you guys want to see what they're talking about. Instagram at Bolts Farm Treehouse. I'm looking on your page right now. I mean, wow. Oh my gosh, this is insane. The views, the structure, the greenery, like insane. Wow. This is so crazy. Oscar's looking right now. We got to get Oscar a
Thank
mic, by
you.
the way.
We spare no expense when it
this
comes to
is
the guest
insane.
experience.
So I want to go out here. I'm going to go out there with my girlfriend. Damn, these are like really cool jacuzzis built into the rocks.
Right?
Yes.
That's
How
the
do you guys
wellness
do that?
haven. So
Hot
we just built.
springs.
That's what we built in Q1 of
springs?
this year.
So, okay, so you get your own treehouse. You get your own hot springs jacuzzi. And what else do you get? What's this big glass mirror thing with the door? What's that?
So we've got like saunas and steam rooms
What?
all like built into the rocks with a view
Damn.
of 3 states. And we've brought in like the best talent for massage. And I think the thing that makes us different than everywhere else is like we design and curate everything. Like this is not like structures that we just import from overseas. Like we design the entire experience. There's so much thoughtfulness in every detail. And also what it allows us to do is basically make it easy for you to just enjoy a curated stay. Like I want it to be to where like literally you can book a full vacation in 30 minutes or 30 seconds and know that you've like it's all the best things because we live this, we breathe it, and we can make it really easy.
I'm gonna come out and book. What's a good time of year to do it?
Yes, honestly,
Is
year
right now
round. I
good?
mean, we do 93% occupancy. People come every
Really?
season.
Year-round.
It's
Okay.
stunning. Yeah,
I'm booking a trip. I'm gonna come soon. This
do
is really
it.
really cool.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
just to piggyback on what Seth was saying about like how much we obsess over the guest experience, if someone has a place like this and they want to level up their guest experience, all you need to do is stay in your own room. Like stay at your place. We stay in every one of our villas before we open it up to the public, and we always have a very long list of all these things. It's all these small little things that add up, to making it flawless. And so, but we always do that. Our team, like they kind of dread when they know that we're coming to stay in a unit because we're going to just tear it apart. We want to make it flawless for the guests.
yeah, I love that. I always think going through the customer journey with any business that you have is such a good idea, and you guys should all be doing it like once every few months, especially if you got an online business. Like, what does the customer journey look like? But it's so smart. And quite frankly, we should be doing that with all of our hotel rooms. Go stay in all these rooms and see what they look like and what they feel like. But question for you guys. So there's a lot of people out there that want to get in the unique stays stuff. A lot of investors out there, they think it's sexy and it is very Instagrammable. I mean, you guys got over 600,000 followers on your Instagram. And it sells, right? But a lot of people want to get into it. What are some of the challenges for someone new getting into unique stays? What did you call it, Tori?
Experiential hospitality.
Experiential hospitality. What are some of the challenges for someone new getting into that?
Well, one thing I see people do is like they want to participate with unique stays, but they don't have a unique idea. And I think that's what it's all built on. You know what I mean? It's kind of ironic to be like, oh, let me get into the unique stays and I'll do what these other people are doing. Or let me just like buy these prefab units from around the world. And like, I just think that's a quick way to water it down and probably kind of ruin the whole concept of unique because you're not being unique. So like for us, everything we designed, everything we've built, like it took a lot longer, but we control the whole experience and like we're in control of the whole thing. And I think like investing in your guest experience is one of the highest return on investments you can have. A lot of people think of ROI in terms of the structure, the landscaping, the things that you're going to like your capital expenditure, right? But I look at it more like, oh man, it's the tech stack running in the background. It's like having AI do everything seamlessly and flawlessly so it truly can be a personalized experience. And this is where I think the hotel industry is like totally changing forever. Is like it's going to be all about guest experience. Like the org chart is just going to morph to guest experience. Like as AI takes over more of the administration and everything else, like it's going to be about how did you feel, right? Because people will forget what you say, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And so if you are like just a student of the guest experience, I mean, we go to the happy hours on our and like actually listen to our guests and get their feedback and then reiterate and make it better and better. To where we're asking ourselves like, what's a 10-star experience? Like forget the 5-star, So I've already got my vision of what that's going to be like, and basically as we're on the cutting edge of technology, which you wouldn't think like, okay, for like a high experience, the technology could get in the way of that. But we're high tech so that we can be high touch, because I don't want my people like, I mean, we've all been to a bad check-in experience where it's like very impersonal. You're trying to get your room card, that kind of thing. And it's just, instead I want it to be about service. Like you walk in and it's like, oh, here's a cool towel and here's a glass of champagne and here's a chair massage.
Do you guys have a lot of on-site staff?
We do.
Yeah.
Okay. What housekeepers I know?
Housekeeping, maintenance, guest experience.
Okay. Is the maintenance like W-2 on payroll, or these are like third-party maintenance vendors that will come as needed?
W-2. Yeah.
W-2. Okay. And then what was the other ones you mentioned?
Guest experience. So we have Dreamweavers. If you're familiar with the book Unreasonable Hospitality, Will Guidara, it
what is
is exceptional.
That? Okay.
He is revolutionary, or he is changing the game of hospitality with this. And it's all about personalizations and wowing your guests. And so we were so inspired by the book. He talks about this role called a Dreamweaver, which is someone dedicated to doing that. And so we now have a team of Dreamweavers who are looking for different things about our guests. What do we know about, maybe what do we know about our guests based on what they submitted online or on the phone call? Like, are they celebrating an anniversary? Are they here, grieving? And how can we show up to really meet them where they're at and make them feel known? Because hospitality is about making people feel known. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It's just, I see you, I know you. Oh, Kelsey loves Sour Patch watermelon kids, so we'll have a big bowl of them when she comes to stay. And she's like, wow, they get me.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, I'm the same way when I travel. I will pay up for great service, that personal touch. You show up and everything's taken care of for you, like treated very well. Like that goes a long way for me. I'll pay up for that, and that makes a lot of sense. And so I'm curious for you guys, how many total listings are on the property, or how many rooms?
Just open it.
Yeah, 24th. Okay, got it. And so with all the on-site staff, I imagine it becomes easier as you scale, right? The economies of scale, and then it makes it easier to justify the payroll expenses. Yeah. How many units, if someone was new getting into this, how many units would you say, okay, it makes sense to justify the full-time on-site staff that you guys have to make sure that people are entertained too?
Yeah, we've seen this business at many different phases. I mean, we started with one treehouse, then we did 4, then we did 8, then we did 13, and keep scaling it. And I felt like still at 4, it could be a very, very lean and mean team. For many years, it was us plus one person who did all the guest communications and the bookings. Then we hired a cleaner. Once we had 8, we really did have to have, a more built-out team. It could still be pretty lean, but at that point, that's when you really start needing to fill that work chart.
And we're investing heavily in people right now. Like everything we make goes back into the business, to the experience on site, and for the team that's going to help us grow and really scale. So we're in the nail it phase of nail it, scale it, and we'll go multi-site after building out the Tennessee property. Call it the Tennessee Test Kitchen, because it's where we're rapidly learning, and I'm getting better and better. We've built the Treehouse 10 times now, and it just keeps getting better every time. And we've got it to a point where literally we can now, launch a brand new property in a matter of months, not years, and have the whole tech stack built out and everything else. So
how many units deep will you go in this property? You're at 22 right now.
So we'll be at 35 by Q4 this year. We're going to kind of just test demand. Either we'll go ahead and scale up all the way to 50, or maybe we'll go ahead and go multi-site and start building that out and come back for a victory lap.
Got it. So it all just depends on what the market dictates and what the absorption rate is. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. You guys mentioned before we started recording that, and this is very unique, never heard of this happening before, but you guys got sued by Airbnb. What happened there?
Dude, so wild. So, I mean, like we said, we started out on Airbnb, the first Treehouse, and then as we started to get multiple properties, the challenge we had was sharing those in a way like we would, with a website where you could build whatever you want. But on the platform, there was no good way to show people that we had more than just the one Treehouse. And so, I mean, being Superhost 30 times over and whatever, they would call us occasionally because we were early on the platform and just ask us for ideas. And so we were sure, here's a bunch of them, but they just never happened. So we built our own website because to us, the guest experience, the booking the property and figuring out what you want to do is part of it. And so we really do like to control the whole thing. Well, we've got this, sort of hard to remember name, Bolt Farm Treehouse.
I've heard 50 versions of it. Honestly, everyone just
yeah, it's Bolt House, Tree Family Farms, everything. So, years ago we were like, let's just shorten our name to one word, and we'll find something that's great, but that expresses like nature and the B&B part. So the reason why Airbnb sued us is they're trying to block everyone from using B&B. But here's where I think that's just, really messed up. You can't put B&B, so you have to put B&B, just like they did. Like, that's just a limitation of URLs. And yet there's so many like boutique hotels and, bed and breakfast places that like that's the only way they can show up effectively is to use that. But like you're
saying B&B in the domain name.
Yeah, B&B in the domain name.
Got it.
So we filed for a trademark. They blocked that and sued us. And just principally, I was like, you know what? Like, we love this industry. We love the people that are doing unique things and that want to grow their business. And it shouldn't be a case where, like, if they become successful and need to have their own website, then that they can't have a website and they're gonna be sued by Airbnb. So, like, I mean, I think there's enough people hating on Airbnb. I'm not trying to do that. But like at the same time, I just think that it's not fair to the hardworking people in hospitality that it can be a David and Goliath situation. Like, we're getting sued by $1 billion company and we're a family business just trying to grow and like simplify our name.
And do you think the purpose of the lawsuit was more so the B&B thing, or they didn't want you guys to take direct bookings outside of their platform?
It's tough to say. I mean, like, we've spent time with Brian Chesky, Zooms, phone calls, stuff like that. So, and I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, probably
Are you guys a fan of Brian?
I want to think that he didn't have anything to do with it. This was just like Airbnb's legal team just trying to build a defensive moat and like own B&B, .com in any variation.
What do you guys think of the future of Airbnb?
I think it's a race to the bottom. I think people are on Airbnb and they're just looking for a deal. They're like, oh, what's available for this trip I already have planned or the city I'm already going to, and I'm just price shopping. But the power of a brand, building a brand, having your own website, having a social media presence, we're not just a place you stop when you're coming through Chattanooga. Like, we are the destination because it is an experience. And people will pay top dollar for a great experience that they know they can count on, not some Airbnb that might have been oversold in the photos and kind of a crappy experience.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think it's risky to like put all your faith and your full weight on a platform that's going to change the way properties show up, and you might be seen today, but you might not be seen tomorrow. And I think with regulations against Airbnb, which we dealt with, like, our business almost died because of Airbnb.
The regulatory stuff.
Yeah, totally. That was like probably the hardest thing we've ever gone through.
What's your property zone? Is it like, do you guys have commercial zoning now to where regardless of what the Airbnb regs are in your local county, municipality, you guys are good to go?
So, like, our first development could not have gone better. The second one could not have gone worse. And it was so painful for us that we actually were like, if we're doing this again, we're finding a place where there is no zoning and where we have total creative freedom for what we can build. And we found that in Tennessee on top of a mountain. And now we're building the craziest things. Like, we just applied for a Guinness Book of World Records because we built the first floating mirror structure, and it's like suspended between two boulders.
Damn. Floating mirror.
Yeah. Like,
and what's the point of the floating mirror?
To really, like, I mean, you're standing in your shower, you're seeing like boulders right outside your window, and you got a view of 3 states. So just
damn,
this
that's
like
dope. Okay.
next level
Enhances the viewpoints.
Yeah.
Got it.
You're like immersed in nature, but surrounded by luxury.
I love that. That's
and
so dope.
it's like, I think when I hear Elon Musk talk about, like, life's got to be about more than just solving one problem after another. Like, there's going to be something that like just lights you up to wake up every morning. And for me, it's building and designing these incredible experiences that are like nothing people have seen. So like, there's like, Bolt Farm has done several things for the first time, like in U.S. history, with being the first to rent out mirrored structures. We were that, like, the first to build out like wooden luxury dome rentals that are next level. So, I mean, that's what excites me, and it's what excites our team. Like, we've attracted this innovative group of people. They're like, we're going to revolutionize hospitality and human connection, and we're going to do that by making the entire experience unlike anything else. And we actually hire a lot of people who are like outside of hospitality because they've got a fresh take on it, and they're not thinking like, okay, well, let me apply what I learned over here at this hotel or whatever to it. We're the challengers. Like we use Elon's 5-step, algorithm on everything. Like question everything.
Okay, what's the 5-step algorithm?
So question, delete, simplify, accelerate, and then automate.
Okay, give me an example of all 5 of those.
Okay, so why do hotels spend all the money on the lobby and then the room isn't that nice? Like that's dumb. So let's delete that. We're not going to do that. We're going to put all the value in the room because that's where you're going to be the whole time. So we're going to build this fancy terrace with like a hot tub and an outdoor shower and a fire table and like all this stuff so we were concentrating our resources is spending it on the guest, not on some like wow moment where you're just there for 5 minutes. But we apply that to everything, because there's so many things that just should be deleted. If you make it really simple and just whittle it down to like what's awesome and what people love, then you've got a much simpler, business machine that you can run, and you can automate that machine.
So question, delete, automate.
Question, delete, simplify, accelerate, move faster, and then automate.
And the order is important because if you get the order wrong, you could spend all this time trying to automate something that you really just should have deleted.
And when you say accelerate, give me an example of that. Just like scale it, throw a little gas on it.
Move fast. It's like when you're working on a project and, maybe a vendor is like, oh yeah, we can get that to you in 6 weeks. You're like, how long do you think it's actually going to take you? Okay, 4 hours of focused work. Okay, can you do it by end of day tomorrow? Like what would need to be true for this to get, just shorten it because of Parkinson's law. If you give people you work with or even yourself, a larger time frame to work within, you're going to fill that time. So if you can just compress time, you're going to just get so many more reps
So much
in.
more done. Money loves speed. I always talk about it. It's the number one thing that we live by with the team. I'm like, we got to move quick, and I empower my team to make quick decisions. And I don't care if it's the wrong decision. Let's just make a decision and roll. Because there's dozens of decisions that come up every week, and you can't just sit there and take days to make a decision. You just got to roll with them. But
yeah, and from the guest experience side too, it's like, we've got thousands of 5-star reviews. If anyone ever has a bad experience, like we're talking about it that day and fixing it the next. You know what I mean? Like there's no time wasted on closing those gaps if there ever are any.
Yeah. I believe Airbnb's on the way what do you call it, the race down, Tori?
The race to the bottom.
The race to the bottom. I agree. I think experiential stays, unique stays. I think that will always have a niche there. I also think like the larger Airbnbs that host big groups, like I got a luxury Scottsdale property that hosts 30 groups of 30, pickleball court, beach volleyball court, speakeasy, all that. And that thing crushes. I think there will be a space there because it's hard for hotels to compete with that. But I think the standard cookie cutter 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom homes that you think you're just going to stuff some IKEA furniture in and do good, I think those days are over. And I see like Brian, Chesky, or is Chesney or Chesky? Chesky. I see Brian Chesky out there like, trying to pull some more levers and bring in some more creative like revenue streams. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, I think Airbnb, at least the mainstream stuff, I don't know how long that stuff's going to be around for.
I wonder if it's also like the Spotify of short-term rentals or something, because from my perspective with music, like I think it just means more when you know who the artist is and the story. Like, who are the founders that brought this music to life? No different than like who was the visionary that brought this property to life? So when you buy an album, when it was in a physical form, like you're looking at the liner notes and you're like really learning who the artist was that brought something to life. With Spotify, it's like you could just be listening to a mix and you have no idea who made the music or why or anything else, just you like the beat or whatever. And I just think it's a cheaper connection. Whereas if people come and stay with us, it's because they've been following along our story, because like we build in public on Instagram, and we've made just a ton of like friendships and a really big following that way. So like I think Instagram is more of the channel. Like that's why, and I mean, we've obviously left Airbnb altogether for that reason. Because
you're not even on Airbnb.
No, not at all.
We haven't been for
100%
years.
direct
That was
bookings.
my next question. Is like, what percentage of your bookings come from Airbnb? But
Zero. It's all direct.
Damn, good for you guys. So it's 100% direct now.
Yep.
I
We
love
built
it.
the brand. We built trust. My thought is you're going on Airbnb for a discount, and if you don't know or trust the place, like that you'll get your Airbnb insurance. But when you can establish trust, and we've done that through showing up online, through 2,500 5-star reviews. People
Damn,
know.
is that how many Google reviews
Yeah,
you guys have?
Google and
2,500?
TripAdvisor. Yeah.
Damn, let's go.
Yeah.
That's so amazing. That's so amazing. What kind of ADRs you mentioned 97% occupancy year round. What kind of ADRs do you guys run through the different seasons?
Yeah. So year to date, we're at 821.
That's
Yeah.
so good.
Our goal for this year was 750, and I know we're going to exceed it.
Killing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And does that fluctuate depending on season?
It does. Yeah. Winter,
What's like low season and high season difference?
I mean, being booked out 93+%, it's always high season. But I will say, like, fall books out the absolute fastest. We get stunning colors in the fall foliage in Tennessee. So like October is pretty much already booked out. November's on its way. Spring is gorgeous too. But like every season truly has a different beauty.
Yeah, I'm booking my stay maybe tonight. I'm excited to come out here. And you guys stay on site. Talk about that. Where do you guys live?
So up until like 2 months ago, we have lived on property and our guests had no idea. We were hiding in plain sight in the epicenter of everything.
And you would just be like just hanging out with them and they have no idea that you're the owners?
Well, we'd be like working in our office, but like part of our process when we build is to live on site. You can just move so much faster, ensure quality. We're building something unique. So for a lot of our trades that we work with, it's the first time that they've done this. So we did that, and because the property's so beautiful, we just fell in love with it and didn't want to move. And we also like have really enjoyed living below our means, and have almost made it a game to say like, hey, how low can we live below our means and just live light, move fast. That was one of our mantras years ago. Just invest everything into the business. And so for years, no one would know this because Seth's a rock star, but we lived in a luxury camper, and it cost us $308 a month to live in.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
What wasn't cool was crapping in a porta-john for 6 years.
If you're running Airbnbs or short-term rentals, the next phase is boutique hotels. This is where the big plays happen. Inside our boutique hotel mastermind community, we break down exactly how to source deals, how to raise private capital, close, and ultimately how to renovate and operate boutique hotels the right way. So if you're ready to take advantage of the tightening Airbnb regulations and the 40 million retiring baby boomers and join our 120 plus members, partnership opportunities, and direct access to me, head over to hotelinvesting.com to book a free call with my team. Now back to the show.
Yeah, what happened there?
Too much. Too much.
You said crapping in a what?
In a porta-john.
Damn.
Yeah.
For how long did you do that?
Years, my
Damn.
friend.
At different
Years.
properties.
At
Like
different
we just-
properties, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, because it wasn't permanent housing or anything. It was
Yeah.
just like, we're gonna be here, we're gonna launch this, we're gonna build it, and I guess in hindsight we should have. I mean, but it was also like there wasn't a house to buy nearby, because we're on this coal mining mountain. It is like gorgeous, beautiful. Some of the most beautiful places are destinations. Like this land is absolutely stunning, but it wasn't like some luxury community we could just buy a house in. So we're like, let's do the Elon thing. Let's sleep on the factory floor. Let's be there for our team, like day and night. Call me at 3 a.m. Like if you've got a problem, we're here to help.
Yeah, that's so dope. I love
And
that.
honestly, that saved our business. Right before Thanksgiving 2 years ago, there was a fire near the property, and we almost lost everything. The whole property almost went up in flames, but we came out unscathed. There was like no damage, but Seth and the team were fighting the fire alongside the fire department.
Like through the
Damn.
night,
Overnight for like
using
3 nights.
like I've got a drone for marketing, and like I was using the drone to like find spot fires. And like you see, like the guy with the garden hose on TV,
That
and
was
you
you
like
guy.
wonder,
That
like,
was
will
you.
I ever be
Yeah.
that guy? And like when it's yours, you absolutely.
Damn. That's crazy. Does the ex-boyfriend still come out and visit, watch your guys' stuff?
Yeah, I don't think he's
What is he
just
think?
that.
I hope not. I hope not.
I don't think so. Oh, man.
So I'm curious for you guys. So you mentioned before we started recording, and this is very interesting. You guys got burnt 6 figures, burnt 6 figures by a cabinet company. What the hell happened there?
Yeah. So the mirrors that we bought, mirror cabins, were from this company called OOD, OOD, and we got the first ones, and they were just duds. Like they didn't have the right equipment, they didn't have the right they didn't pass inspection. So we bought this turnkey thing, and we had guests, arriving. Literally like the timeline between when we bought the land and when guests were arriving was like 3 months. So we bought the land, we already had like it all planned out. And long story short, like we just had to gut these things and like redo everything, and it cost us, over $100,000 to do that. And I was just like, hey, help us out here. Like, we're having to spend a lot of money on these, make this right. And they wouldn't do it. And I think they didn't do it because they're like based out of Estonia. They, like international lawsuits are hard, and expensive. And so I think they were just like, what are they really going to do? And so I told them, I was like, look, we're getting asked, what our experience is like with you, and it hasn't been good. I was like, I'm not one to just start throwing people under the bus. I was like, but you should make this right with us, or I'm just going to tell them how bad the experience was. They still wouldn't make it right. So I started doing that. And then, we also, like, we
were the cabinets completely not usable? Like, you had to completely just
like,
start over from
we couldn't
scratch?
even get a certificate of occupancy.
Damn. What I'm curious, like, because I'm not a big fan of all the local bureaucracy and tape. Like, we live in San Diego here, and so all the real estate we buy in our fund is in California. But man, a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of red tape. We take advantage of it, right? Tightening Airbnb regs, and it's hard to build, and so we're taking advantage of that part. But I'm never been a big fan of all the bureaucracy and red tape. Like here in California, for example, you need to get a permit to change out HVAC units. You need to get a permit to replace windows, right? And so, it's like, okay, well, that's a pain, right? So it's like, there's always a workaround. But I'm curious for where you guys live. What was it about the cabinets that the city's like, hey, we're not going to give you the occupancy?
It was the entire mirror cabin. So there's like a prefabricated mirror cabin, and like the electrical didn't pass code. The plumbing, like, we literally had a toilet fall off the wall within the first week of being open because they didn't do it right. They're just trying to do it for as cheap as possible, not obsessing over the customer and the guests like we do. They're just trying to make these little boxes. And,
Got it. So it was just cheap build.
And I'm telling you, like, it's been a dream building in Tennessee, especially in this county. Like, they're just very common sense. Like, we can figure this out, even if there's not a way, like, we'll figure it out. We'll work with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's literally, our property would be the easiest place for this thing to pass, and it wouldn't pass where we lived, if that tells you how bad it was.
Yes.
So now, we do workshops, and people will visit our property just to stay in it to see if they want to buy them, because they're trying to, like, dump these into the market now, and everyone's buying these little glass boxes. And so they started seeing that, like, they had people that were, going to place $1 million orders with them back out, and they were like, why? And they're like, well, we talked to the Bolts, and they said, like, you guys stiffed them for 6 figures, and, like, you delivered product and you didn't stand behind it. And so then they came back to us, like, that got their attention, and they said, hey, listen, like, they offered this, like, super weak apology, and then said, we're willing to give you guys some money to, like,
some money,
a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like, we're willing to give you a lot of money to like put this to bed
after the fact.
Yeah, hush money.
Yeah.
And literally, I responded, I was like, my silence will not be bought. People deserve to know the truth.
And good for you, man.
Yeah. Like, they wanted us to even go, like, actually promote them as well. Like, we'll give you enough money that you're never going to say anything bad about us, and you're going to promote us. And
Did you guys not have the platform that you do today back when they burnt you?
We did. We didn't make it public because, honestly, I held out faith that they would make it right, and gave them way too many chances to make it right, to where finally I was just like, okay, you're not ethical people, and I don't want anyone else to get burned like us. So, like, we're just going to tell people not to work with you. And I said this to their, like, owner. I said, I think maybe he joked back to us saying, like, oh, we should maybe make some T-shirts, that say that talk about how Oud makes junk. And I said, we'll make them for you, and they're gonna say screwed by Oud.
Damn, that's pretty good.
I just
dropping
think
all the game.
Like, it's unfair. Like, think about it. There's people out there, and, like, they're wanting to build a business for themselves, and maybe they're investing, like, their life savings, their 401k into these prefab
taking
structures,
a big risk,
and they have no idea that they're, like, what's waiting on them on the other side.
Yeah,
and there's no recourse.
No recourse. Yeah, I feel you. We do the same thing when we, like, get stuff sized up. So, like, anything that's more than $5,000, I'm like, I tell the team, like, we're getting 3 bids minimum, and some vendors that, like, they get it, and they're like, man, we want to work with you guys. Like, they see the value. They're like, hey, we know you're going to throw us a ton of referrals if this goes well. We want to win your business. And they'll go above and beyond, and they'll give us, like, very competitive pricing. The customer service will be great. They're like, hey, we'll even throw in some custom stuff free of cost because we see the value of a long-term relationship. Those are the people I would like working with. And the other people, like they just give us like really shitty customer service. The bid is like retail. I'm like, dude, we're not going to work with them, right? And so I tell the team all the time, I'm like, all these vendors and third parties, all the subscriptions that we work with, we should be getting the best pricing out of anyone out there just because we got the platform. We can send them a ton of referrals. The hotel mastermind, a lot more referrals. We can feature them if it goes well. And if they don't see the value in that, then I'm just not going to work with them, and it's as simple as that.
Yeah. And we're blessed to work with like a ton of great vendors. LM Flooring, Timber, like they've given us flooring, like, because they believe in us and they want to show up for our people. And I think there's an interesting model out there that like we're building where like we spend so much time actually with procurement and like choosing things that are very unique that one day I was like, I spend so much time on curating this experience that we should just partner with these vendors and actually sell the things that are in the room via e-commerce, so that literally people can come and rent the room and then they can buy the room, like the things that are in there that they like, whether it be like the hand-hammered copper tub or the record player or whatever. They could just buy it through our online store and do that.
You guys do that?
Yeah, we're like building that right now.
You're building that right now.
Yeah,
That's dope. That's dope. What I'm curious for you guys, have you guys ever received an offer, like a unsolicited offer of someone just like, hey, like, I'd love to buy your property at this number?
Yeah.
You have? And have you guys thought about entertaining an offer like that?
No,
we're
never.
building this for legacy.
But anything's negotiable, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
if the right person came in and gave you an offer that's too good to say no to, you guys would sell at a certain number, right?
We would look at it. We'd probably.
I mean, we're firm believers like you should build a business that is highly sellable. Because
Totally.
if it's not, then like you sort of built a lifestyle business. And
what's the exit strategy on the road, or is this a something you guys are on hold indefinitely?
we don't have an exit strategy. We have a legacy strategy.
Okay.
Yeah. Talk about
the goal is to build it for legacy. So we have a 2-year-old daughter. Obviously, she doesn't have to work in a business, but how cool is it for her to be able to grow up around it, have all these different opportunities, whether it's construction or marketing or spa, all these different things. And to just see her parents work really hard. So what that looks like for us, we're at 24 units right now. We're going to grow it to 50. Once we get it to be a well-oiled machine that doesn't require us being the ones pouring the oil in it, we're going to go multi-site. And we want to have these in some of the most like beautiful places across the U.S. and maybe even internationally.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I'm curious, what does the lending look like? I know that's one of the major challenges when you get into these unique stay type of properties is the lending. I'll give you an example. We got multiple hotels in our fund. Most of our properties are in pretty primary areas, right? California coast, either on the water or just off the water in like A locations. But one of our hotels is very rural, up there in an area called Shelter Cove, beachfront, right on the water, smaller room, hotel, 10 rooms. But this is up there by the Oregon border. That hotel, we have a lot less lending options than if we, like our San Clemente hotel we just bought in South Orange County. We just closed on that 5 weeks ago. We had like dozens and dozens of lenders that were like, hey, we'll fund this in 7 days. Like everyone wanted to lend on that property. But the more rural one, a lot less options. And so I see the difference with just our hotel properties. I know with the experiential stays, like that is one of the downfalls. It's a little bit more challenging to get lending. What does the lending look like for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, you hear no a lot. I mean, especially in the beginning. I mean, now we're in a position where like we're getting reached out to by people who are saying like, hey, we want to invest in this space and we want to invest in the best. And we've been watching you guys. Do you need any money? Like, but now that's not where we started. Like it was really tough to get money for the second development. I literally just walking into banks, like seeing if they'd take my meeting. I enjoy the art of that and the sale of it and like selling the vision. So understanding, I think, how to package it, because it is very unique, and unique is not, the market likes unique, but banks don't like things that are too unique, because if it doesn't go well, they need to sell that asset. And they weren't familiar with Treehouses as an asset class. So I had to like reframe that. Like, no, these are like single family residential structures that are sort of themed like tree houses, et cetera. But man, the hardest thing was like after the second development that we did in Charleston failed, like going back to the well with basically no money and saying, okay, we want to, this is still going to work. We've got a following, we've got a brand, we're going to start over and we're going to build this, and we just need a few $1 million to do that. It was really hard to get that. So we were going to do an SBA loan so that was like less risky for the bank. And this like small town bank had never worked with the SBA. So we found the land in Tennessee in May. We had it under contract in June, and then we didn't close on the property until like mid-December. But this is during 2020, mind you. We are like bleeding cash, like the business is about to die, and we had to throw a Hail Mary like for the holiday season, like because like no one could leave. There was the lockdown and all that mess from COVID. So I was like telling Tori, I was like, I think if we don't make some money between like Black Friday and Christmas, like we're done. And so we didn't own the land, and we spent our last $500 on some renderings of what we wanted to build, and we just had our cell phone. And like I'm talking the power of showing up and just telling the world your dream. And we're like, look where we are. This is the place. This is what we're going to build. We'd show the rendering, and then our goal was like to pre-sale $500,000 of reservations. And in that month, we pre-sold $1 million in reservations for 2021.
And we didn't own the land. We hadn't built anything.
And the banker
$1 million.
called. Yeah, the banker called,
and this is
like,
cash up front. Damn.
Yeah, totally. So the banker was like, "Hey, there's a lot of money going into your account, and like I know you guys don't own the land yet. So, like, are y'all selling drugs or guns or something?" And I was like, no. I was like, Sid, this is exactly, we're doing what I told you we were going to do. I was like, people want this. Like, this is in high demand. We've got a big following. Like, we're going to do this. And he's like, well, let's do it. And he was like, let's just cut the SBA out of it, and we'll fund the deal entirely. And we got the money to do it.
And you
so
got the money, and they funded it. They actually did it.
Backed in a corner, like fighting for dear life, and managed. Like we bet on ourselves. Like that could have gone horribly wrong, but it didn't.
We talk about personal branding all the time, and I think like there's a lot of benefits of it, but one of the benefits that nobody talks about is the ability to attract lending. When you have the brand, like you guys have the property brand, you guys have your personal brand, it just creates a lot of trust. Lenders want to lend to people they trust, and the personal brand just adds a lot of trust, and it makes it a lot easier to get lending and a lot more attractive lending terms and pricing with it. And that's something a lot of people don't talk about.
I think that's a big shift. Like audience used to be what everyone was going for, and that's like evolving into authority. Like now authority matters. So there's a bank that we're friendly with, and they send the people who are borrowing from them to our mastermind group and our workshops, because they're like, this is like an insurance plan for them. It's a rounding error in the grand scheme of things when they're loaning $30 million for some big development. It's like, let's send them to Seth and Tori, and we can like help them get there faster. And then like I just went and spoke at that bank. Like we've never borrowed $1 from them, but like we will. We'll probably do some huge deals. But like we've.
Is it a local bank, like a regional bank?
It's one of the biggest lenders to outdoor hospitality in the country.
It's like one of our mentors, Sharon Srivatsa, said. He says, fame is the most efficient business model. So I think that's true for this with lenders. It's true for recruiting top talent. Like building that brand, it benefits you for so many reasons.
And it gets you in a lot of rooms that you otherwise wouldn't get into. That's one
huge.
Of the biggest hacks. Like crazy,
And the thing that like, because I told you I grew up poor, like the idea of like just paying to be in a room, whether that's like a, mastermind group, whatever, like has the return on that investment has been insane. And like that blew my mind, because like in our 10-year journey, the first 6 was just like crashing into walls, trying to figure everything out the hard way, because we didn't know any better. And now we're like, if we're going to do anything, I want to know like who's the expert at this, and let's just go pay them to tell us exactly how to do it so we can get there faster.
Regardless about like all the hoopla there is, bad news in the marketplace, like I always say, like right now is the best time ever to be alive, because leveling up in this game is all about just getting information, and like it's never been easier than now to get information. I mean, the cat's out of the bag. You can learn more listening to a podcast now than you can going to a 4-year university. But with all these mastermind communities out there, podcasts, YouTube, like literally, it's never been easier to gain information quickly. I mean, you guys say money loves speed, and it's such a true thing. And so I would say, like, if you're listening to this right now and you feel stuck, you feel like you're not growing, and you're looking for the next thing, like you should be excited, because this is the best time to be alive. It's never been easier than now. and the ability to like pivot and like get into something different. Like you guys did it, I did it not that long ago, has never been easier. And the bar has never been as low as it's ever been. Like the bar right now has never been this low. Like you can run a lot of these people over just by like showing up every day and getting 1% better every day.
That's right. Yeah.
Just by giving a fuck.
And I mean,
Like waking up and be like, I'm
right?
going to do the damn thing.
I know.
Like that's how you beat 99%
People ask
of
me,
people.
they're like, what's your secret to success? I'm like, the secret is hard work and consistency over the last 10 years, you know? But to your point about information, I mean, we utilize AI and leverage it in our business and in our personal life. You should tell them about your board of advisors.
Oh, dude, this is a mega hack.
Let's hear this mega hack.
So even before OpenAI released custom GPTs, I was creating those, and I created an AI board of directors, and I just put my heroes on it, and I've got like all these different committees. So now anytime I'm trying to make a decision, I want input from Charlie Munger. I want, like I've got just a stacked deck of brilliant people, some dead, some alive, and I get just the most incredible perspective from that, and I highly recommend that.
What's your favorite quote from Charlie Munger?
I think, I don't know. There's one about him saying he'd rather put a viper down his shirt than like do an audit on like the insurance or whatever it was.
You surprised me. I don't even know you. I thought you were going to say, show me the incentives and I'll show you the outcome. That changed the way
Say that one again.
Show me the incentives and I'll show you the outcomes. Incentives are everything. And so we actually have everybody on our team on incentive comp. So, and this has changed the game for performance. And that's really common with sales teams, but I mean everybody on the team.
Okay, tell me more. I do the same thing, but tell me more.
Housekeepers,
Okay.
maintenance techs, everybody. So you have a portion of your compensation that is guaranteed salary, hourly, whatever, right? 70%. The other 30 is tied to your performance. And it's not just like some vague number like, oh, the company's bottom line. It's like your performance. So it's a metric that we track. So housekeeper, maybe it's your cleanliness scores or the time, how many rooms you cleaned. And it changes the game because now if you have someone who's hustling and they're cleaning 6 rooms a day, someone who's barely showing up and they're doing 2, they shouldn't be paid the same, you know? And what's cool is now they can earn far more by working with us than they could at one of our competitors or anywhere else if you show up and care.
That's so good. That's so good. And then what are some of the other like roles that you guys bonus them out for?
So, I mean, every single role. So our recruiters, time to fill, quality of the hire. You know, if it's like, if they're filling a position within 21 to 30 days, they're getting this level bonus. 30 to 45 is this, and then above 45, there is no bonus.
I just looked at this yesterday. In the last year, we've received 10,860 applications to
come work
for
with you
Bolt
guys?
Farm.
Damn.
Yes. Like, and the thing is, we're seeing like a lot of people from, like the traditional luxury places like Four Seasons and Ritz-Carlton and all that actually migrating to us because like a lot of those brands have been bought by private equity, and then the revenue guys come in and they like squeeze the life out of it. They split it up. They, to them it's just like a line item on the P&L, and they're like, well, if we can delete this, we can make it more profitable, and they're gonna flip it and make money off of it. But like, what they don't have is like the vivid understanding of like why that thing existed in the first place, like the founder's vision, and so the experience is not the same. And there's a lot of people out there who like they're thinking, man, if they would just allow us to change, fill in the blank, like this would be world-class experience. That's exactly what we allow people to do at Bolt Farm. Like we'll give you a blank page and be like, we want to hear your ideas. In fact, like we have this thing.
You're talking about your guests, or you're talking about your team?
We're talking about the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
so
that.
Like
So it's
a
very
lot,
collaborative.
and even some of the others like Under Canvas, like they were sold to private equity. We get people that come to us from there because like, and the story is the same for all of them. They're like, man, this was kind of cool. It was like a founder-led thing. We were building something, and then it got sold, and like everything changed. Like they replaced the leaders, there was a shift in the core values, and like I feel like it's lost its soul. And that's one reason why we're not like we're building this to keep it long term, because like I think there's something powerful about like working for a legacy brand or a brand that's doing big things. Like if you work for SpaceX or Tesla right now, like you're there for a mission, and like we're going to the moon, we're going to Mars, like I'm building something, and like Elon's not just going to sell this company to just because. So we're the same way. Like people who are coming to us, like it's not about money for them really, it's about mission and what we're doing and how we're revolutioning hospitality and human connection and bringing people together. That's so much more inspiring thing to do and place to work with, and like that's who I want to work with. So,
Dude, I do the same thing here. So, like every member of my team gets compensated based on performance. So, for example, with Summers Capital, we have a fund, and 20% of the Summers Capital GP is allocated for specific leaders on my team. They got to earn it, of course, right? They don't just get handed to it. But once they get in, now they have 20% ownership that they share amongst all the hotels that we buy, right? So now they have an alignment of interest for the deals to go good. And then they have a motivation to get there and stay there as well. And then even like the content team, right? So like the content team, the editors, they get bonused out and they get a salary, but in addition to that, they get a bonus at the end of each month based on how many views a video gets. And so if they have a video that gets, 100,000 views, they get a $100 bonus. 500,000 views, they get $500 bonus, and a million views plus, they get a $1,000 bonus. And so, by doing that, now whenever we have a podcast episode, like they're like fighting over like who gets to edit what, and they're like spending an extra, 20, 30 minutes on the perfect B-roll, the perfect sticker, and like just doing a couple extra edits, which is the difference between a video getting 20,000 views and a couple 100,000, right? And so those little things are big. And even like with the mastermind revenue, like the key members that are involved with the mastermind, they get a slice of the revenue. I brought on like a paid ads consultant. I'm giving him a slice of the revenue because I want him to have skin in the game. I want him to like go the extra mile to make sure like everything is smooth and going well. And so I think when you take care of team members, I haven't heard of the cleaner thing. I think that's really good. I want to implement that as well. But I think when you pay people based on performance, it creates such a massive alignment of interest for things to go well.
It's strong. And we do that too. Like if you work with agencies and third-party vendors, do that too. Like they're going to probably, give you the options that they're used to, which is a flat fee for the month. But then what does that mean? You're one of 11 clients, and they're not thinking about your business and your problems every single day. So we ask ourselves, okay, well, how can we change that? How can we be their most important client? And they think about Bolt Farm as if it was their own, and we get them on performance comp. So we always try to negotiate for 100%. If they're not able to do that and it's someone that we really want to work with, then maybe we'll find a middle ground where there's a portion that's guaranteed and the rest.
Even with the cleaners, you'll try to get 100% performance?
No, not for that. More for like third-party agencies for like at a time. Like now, so we do our social media in-house, but there was a season where we worked with an agency. Same for email marketing. And so it's like, how do we get them bought in? But the cool thing is, yes, they spend more time on our account than others, but they make more working with us than anybody else.
I like that. So how did you guys, what was the key to growing your guys' social media platform for Bolt Farm Treehouse? Over 600,000 followers on Instagram. What was the key to growing that?
I think people follow people, not businesses. And so we are very, we're founder led, and we're not, we don't hide behind the camera. We, show up, we take out the phone, bring them into our process of what does it look like to build and run this place. And so I remember when we were building some of the first 4 tree houses, we would engage our audience on the design. Hey, do you like this or this? Should we go with this floor or this? And like, let them be part of it. Now they have buy-in and they're along for the journey. So it started with that. And I will say some of the things that we did 3 years ago don't work today because the platforms are evolving, right? But there was a season that giveaways and partnerships like were really strong. And we would do this campaign called 7 Days of Thanks. We would partner with 7 different influencers or creatives, people with influence who we felt aligned with, and they would give away a stay to their audience. And the people would nominate the winner in the comments. And it was so beautiful because even if you didn't win, you're reading the story of why you were nominated, why you deserve and need this restful getaway. And it was powerful. We grew, I think, like 40,000 followers in a few weeks during that one time. And so we don't do giveaways anymore, but we still do. We host influencers. We try to host an influencer every week because it's exposing us to new audiences. And there's just a lot of power in collaboration.
And influencers probably love going to your property, right? Because it's so Instagrammable.
Influencers dream.
What do you guys offer these influencers if they have a bigger audience?
Yeah, so we've actually never done paid collaborations. It's like, come and stay. We will roll out the red carpet for you.
Will you do a free stay?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, come free stay. We'll give you the works, spa, wellness haven, food, the whole thing. Like, experience it, in the best way. And then they organically share it with their people. And I think something that we've done that has helped us win with this is I've seen people like when they're working with influencers, they're like, splitting hairs over the deliverables, right? Trying to squeeze them for like 3 more reels. And then we don't even do that. We just are like, have an amazing time. And like your experience will speak for itself. And then they just, honestly, a lot of them post weeks after their stay, even like multiple times because they were so
Well,
moved.
in leveraging the content that they're capturing at your property is benefiting their platform too, right? And if the content's working, they're going to keep posting more of it. So that's cool. That's
So
cool
we try
that
to
you
just
guys.
be easy to work with, low maintenance, and show them a great time.
I like that. We do the same thing. We're like, let's be very easy to transact with. And I always tell people when we're like negotiating anything, I'm like, hey, like this is what we need to move forward. But if you can agree on these terms, we will be the easiest. This will be the easiest transaction you ever do, and we will funnel you guys a ton of referrals.
Yeah.
Yes. But is that the best you guys can do?
Yeah, right.
What are the chances you could do this? No, but I always tell the team, I'm like, hey, like we should have the best pricing on everything. We're actually negotiating our boutique hotel mastermind retreat, which is going to be in Tulum this year. And so the girl's like, hey, this is the price. I'm like, hey, did we negotiate? Is it the best they can do? Did we negotiate it yet? And I'm like, no, okay, let's negotiate it, then we'll talk.
My favorite question is, what would need to be true for, and then fill in the blank for your goal, because it like gets everyone engaged in solving the problem, and that has produced crazy results for us. Because some people just live in like a box, like they just don't think outside of it.
So what would need to be true for you guys to do this for 40,000 instead of 60,000?
Yeah,
that's
and let
really
them
good.
problem solve it.
Yeah.
And then let them figure it out. Ooh, that's really good. I love that. I always one of the ones that I love is if you're negotiating anything, it could be business, real estate, whatever. I always let them throw out the price first. We never throw out the price first. That's rule number one. And then when they throw out the price, we simply just say, hey, is that the best you can do? And I might leverage a couple lines. I might say, hey, we'd love to work with you guys. Just full disclosure, like we are shopping like 4 or 5 different vendors, but I would love to work with you guys if you can make it work because of this, and this reason. But before we decide, is this the best you guys can do? And then they always renegotiate without us even having to ask for it. And often what we find, I would say like 80% of the time, is they'll come down on price and they'll give us the number we're looking for without us even having to ask for that number. The other one I love saying is like, what are the chances? So I'll be like, hey, like, full disclosure, like we're working with like 6 other vendors just trying to get the best pricing. But the truth is I would love to work with you guys because you guys are local and I'd love to like feed you guys a ton of business. What are the chances you could do it for this number? And it's like a nonchalant way. That's like kind of a friendly way to ask, right? That's not going to come off as like obnoxious. You know what I mean? And that's effective as well. But I'm going to have to add that one to the tool belt. What was it again?
What would need to be true for?
What would need to be true for you guys to do it for this price instead of that price?
He uses that all the time.
Damn,
what would need to be
that's
true
so good.
to build a treehouse in a week?
Yeah. Whether you're like trying to optimize for speed or for value, whatever it might be, like that question will get you
even
there.
with a team member. Like, hey, what would need to be true for us to get this project done in 24 hours?
Yes. Power. Isn't that a power question?
That's so good. Yeah, I like that. You guys are giving me all the game right now. This is really good. Okay, so I'm curious. You guys had a video go viral on Instagram, and you guys talking about the 2-2-2 rule. We're talking about life partners, and I always say like having the right life partner that invests in your dreams is one of the biggest life hacks out there. What is the 2-2-2 rule?
So the 2-2-2 rule, and I've got a funny story for you for that viral video as well, is it's like every 2 weeks, go on a weekend getaway. Every 2 months, go on a week-long getaway. And every 2 years, go on a 2-week vacation, something like that. But what was interesting, what made the video go viral was people debating in the comments about the 2-2 rule. This is dumb. It should be every 4 weeks. It should be, and you got people from both sides being like, that's way too much time away from your kids, or that's not enough time at all. And what's nice is that, the algorithm does love controversy. That's what gets everybody talking about it and sending it. But it's not the controversy. The controversy was controlled. It wasn't, is Bolt Farm a good place to go or not? It's how often are you going there?
I love that.
That's what made it take off.
So Tori, what do you personally think about the 2-2-2 rule? Is this something that you follow, you believe in?
I think it's different for everybody. We don't like to have like hard fixed rules about, oh, we've got to go on a vacation every these weeks, or, I was talking to someone, they're like, oh, you work with your spouse, or like, do you put firm rules around when you talk about business and when you don't? I'm like, no, because for us, it's not a job. It's a lifestyle. Like, this is our calling. So like, why would we tell ourselves we can't talk about moving our dreams forward over dinner when that's what we want? And so for us, we try to listen to ourselves and be like, hey, we've been in a grind. Like, we just need to get away. Let's do that. We always do want to have something quarterly on the books because you got to change your tires. And if you don't have it on the books, it just doesn't happen. But there will be seasons where maybe we go really, really hard for a few weeks and we're like, hey, we need a little something right now, and we'll check ourselves into Bolt Farm.
Yeah. And there's some getaways to where I actually am more productive on the getaway, working a little bit remotely, taking some calls, and like I'll move the needle way more in like a getaway than I would like just staying in San Diego for the weekend. For example, my girlfriend and I love going to Catalina. So we'll take the boat out to Catalina. We went out there, we go there pretty much every other weekend during like the warm months. So like I'd say from May to like October. So we went 2 weeks ago. It was great. Went Memorial Day weekend. We went for like 4 days. We went Thursday morning, came back on Monday afternoon. But like I'm plugged in. Like, you know, as an entrepreneur, real estate investor, you never shut it off. Like if you really want to win in this game, like there's no days off, right? And especially if you're obsessed with the game, right? You got to be obsessed to win. There's no days off. And so, you know, obviously having a life partner that supports you working and getting some reps in, even if it's a Saturday or even if it's a Sunday, you know, for a few hours, like that's very important. And so I actually find that I'm even more productive when we go to Catalina because there's just less distractions.
Yeah, your environments really shape you, you know, and so when you can put yourself in an environment surrounded by beauty, so for in Bolt Farm's case, surrounded by nature with beautiful views on top of the world, like of course you're going to be inspired. Of course the work's going to flow.
And the best advice we got for marriage was that your relationship is like a bank account, and like you've got.
What do you mean by that?
So you have to place, you know, more deposits into the account than you take withdrawals. And the thing is, especially if you're working with your spouse, like there's going to be all kinds of stress. So like you've got to deposit time well spent, you know. So for us, the thing that was really difficult was like we set that intention to like go somewhere on a quarterly basis to like make sure we were, you know, recharging and investing in us, but then finding unique places, like that's a kind of a full-time job. And if you're building a business, you end up doing the typical American thing where like you don't take a break at all until like the 2 weeks before the new year, and then you go on vacation. And so that also inspired us. Like when that wasn't working, we were like, let's be that place for people. Let's build a place where people can come and recharge and like know that they're gonna just be enriched when they're here, and then like actually feel totally recharged when they get home, and not like they need another vacation.
Yeah, that's so good. I always say the most dangerous man is a focused man with a life partner that holds him accountable for turning his dreams into reality.
Let's go. That's
Tori.
Tori. You just described my wife.
The ultimate cheat code in the game, right? The ultimate cheat code in the game. And something a lot of people don't talk about, but it is a life hack. Because think about it. The more that you spend, if you're single, let's just say, the time that you spend setting up dates on the weekend, going on different dates, a lot of those dates are going to be drinking functions. Now you're drinking alcohol. And so now it's not just one night, but then, you know, the entire next day, you're going to be operating at 30%, you know, setting up those dates throughout the week and then corresponding with those girls or guys, if you're a female, like that is a lot. That's a second full-time job. And so just reallocating all that time into actually like building your empire with a life partner that's aligned with you, building it with you. Like I think it's the biggest cheat code in the game that people just don't even think about. Being single is a big time suck.
It is. I cannot agree more. Like you just
Yeah.
articulated exactly how I felt when we got together. And I was like, oh man, I just got all this time back, and I have someone who believes in me. I think another cheat code is like kids and like starting a family earlier. Because think about it this way. They say that you will grow the most, the 2 times in life you'll grow the most is like after you get married and then after you have kids. So if, and we're witnessing this now. Like
That's not everybody though.
have-
I know a lot of people get married and they go the other way.
Yeah. Well, if you're healthy, in health. So we have a toddler, and like I'm learning and growing, and I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, man, societally, like what's the cost? What's the impact of having the entire population basically delay that growth? And I think what we're seeing is just like, it's more like self-absorbed stuff. Like you see like the 20s can become like a lost decade where people aren't building their dreams because they're spending so much time just trying to like, you know, entertain themselves and chase, you know, good times and pleasure and all that. And so in the same way for building family, like there's so many things that, you know, have already been unlocked in me with perspective on like what matters and what's important and how to be focused. Because like my hesitation for not having kids was like, well, I want to give all this time to my business and really get that started and off the ground. But kids are a force function where you will get more efficient and you will you will do better work in the time that you have when they're a priority. And if you don't have that force function and that limitation, then you'll probably just find some other way to spend the time. Like the gas will just fill the space that is given.
That's so good. That's so good. I'm curious for you guys, with everything that you guys have built together, and with all the growth that you guys have seen, and we all know, like, from the the outside looking in, it always looks like a straight line, right? But then from the inside looking out, there's so many fires that you're putting out, so many setbacks. You're falling down, you're getting back up, you're getting punched in the face at every level, and then you're getting up. And there's a lot of learning lessons along the way, a lot of takeaways along the way. But looking back after all the stuff that you guys have built, what is the biggest takeaway or the biggest message that you have for the listeners that maybe they could take to their own personal life and journey?
So, I mean, I think our philosophy is build your business around your strength and then build your team around your weaknesses. Like, you can't do it all.
Say that one more time.
Build your business around your strengths and build your team around your weaknesses. So, like, what comes natural for us is like vision, strategy, innovation, like bringing all this stuff to life. But where we know we're not good is operations. Like, we're builders, not operators. And so then, okay, cool. Down we go to the problem we need to solve. We need to attract the best of the best operators and guest services people, and then it's magic.
That's so good.
What would you
For
add to
me,
that?
I would say, don't view pain as a problem. Like, if you're building a business or you're trying to create something and you're surprised that you're running into pain and problems, instead look at it as an opportunity for growth, because that's part of the definition of growth. It's getting outside of your comfort zone and stretching yourself, and that happens when you break through the pain. And so for me, it's not just about getting to 50 units or multi-property. It's like who I'm becoming in the process, and you grow through that pain. And when I look at the size of the problems I'm solving today, I mean, they're a magnitude of the size of the problems I was solving 5 years ago. And like they felt so huge at the time, but now they're like little anthills, But now I look at problems as an opportunity. What can I learn from this?
That's
What's
so
this
good.
trying to teach me?
That's so good. Seth, Tori, I appreciate you guys coming on. It's such a good conversation. I could keep going for hours. I got to come out and visit your guys' property. I'm gonna book it tonight. As a matter of fact,
We brought you a
And-
golden ticket.
yeah, the
Yes.
golden
Booking-
ticket.
Like, it's done, bro.
Okay, I'm coming out. My girlfriend and I are coming out. I want to come out there. We're gonna shoot some content. It's gonna be sick.
Yes.
And I would love to have you guys come on my boutique hotel investing mastermind call as a guest speaker.
Oh, man.
If you guys are open to it, I'd be
Yeah.
honored to have you guys on.
Yeah.
But more importantly, where can the folks get in touch with you if they want to learn more about everything that you guys are doing?
Yeah, Bolt Farm Treehouse. So we have a website. We're on all the social platforms, probably Instagram the most, Bolt Farm Treehouse.
Yep. And you guys even do in-person workshops.
We do.
And you guys have your own community.
Yeah.
For folks that want to get into unique stays, experiential stays, how can they learn more about the workshops?
Yeah, that's on our website as well. You'll see the tab for workshops. We do qualifying calls because we're really intentional about who's in the room. It's an intimate group of people who are in it for the right reasons.
This game is all about being in the
Yeah.
right rooms.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
is.
I love it. I love it. Seth, Tori, so much fun. I appreciate you guys coming on. I'm shocked that we have not connected until now, but I'm very excited about this relationship, this friendship. You guys are amazing, dropping so much game. They are Seth and Tori. I'm Rich Schumer's listeners. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.